Hey everyone, it's Kellen Brauer here from RacerX, back again with another race examination video. We're going to kind of analyze what these guys do on the start to hype themselves up for the main event. First of all, we got Chase Sexton clapping a little bit. Right next to him, Shane McElrath decides that's a good idea. He claps. Anderson does this like kind of double wrist tap, pulling up the sleeves type of thing. Sexton kind of like does this angry grunt yell thing. And then Sexton and Plessinger both do, I guess we have to call this the ball scoot, where they move forward on the bike by lifting up their you-know-what. And then how about Cooper Webb and Eli Tomac both just stoic? Everyone else is doing some sort of weird, quirky thing, but Tomac and Webb, they're so focused. So who actually gets the whole shot of the main event? It's pretty much none of them. I guess you could say Plessinger does get the whole shot. AC is going to swoop around the outside, but Plessinger just nabs the whole shot on the inside, but AP gets the lead. A lot of different ways that these guys go through those pre-race rituals to get them revved up in that 30 seconds before the gate drops. Let's talk about the chaos that was happening in this main event, though. Eli Tomac passing Cooper Webb. Cooper Webb is going to pass Eli Tomac back. What I think was lost in all this is that Barsha passed both of them. He caught both Eli Tomac and Cooper Webb. He's going to pass Tomac here. Then he's going to pass Cooper Webb a couple laps later. Sexton also caught and passed Webb and Tomac. And then Barsha kind of faltered a little bit later on. But I think that's incredible that, you know, we have these two championship rivals battling each other. And then you have Barsha and Sexton both working through them, and neither of them are battling for the lead. How about this moment, though, between Sexton and Barsha as they're battling it out, I believe, for second at this point in time. And Sexton, at all costs, doesn't want Barsha to come back down the inside of the next corner. So he's going to close the line off and go all the way to the tough blocks, so much so that he actually hits the tough blocks going to the corner. Pretty lucky to not bend the shift lever right there. Like, kind of hit the tough blocks with that shift lever first. But, man, close call between those guys. All right, let's talk about it. It's so sad. It's so unfortunate. Aaron Plessinger, 2 laps to go, leading the race by a good little margin, goes down. Pretty heavy crash right here, and he ends up 13th place in the end of it. But here's what happened. Basically, Plessinger said he had not been standing up in that rut all day long. Did it a couple times in practice, but that rut obviously got a lot deeper, so his inside foot clips it. And unfortunately for Plessinger, born in the wrong era, this probably wins X Games in 2000 with that sick trick right there. But then he flies off the side of the bike, helmet hits the handlebars, and then he kind of tuck and rolls into this like lander to try to not hit his head too hard. Interesting little tactic to maybe not get a concussion, but obviously rung his bell a little bit. But here's what we're talking about. So a couple laps before this, look at sitting into the jump right there. You can see he can lift his inside foot because he's obviously sitting down, and these guys always lift that inside foot when they're sitting down into a corner. So when he's standing up a few laps later, there's no chance that he lifts that inside foot. I mean, maybe some of those guys are good enough to still lift the inside foot like that, but there's no way that he's going to know that the compression of the suspension will kick his foot down into the dirt. The toe grabs it. He goes flying over, and just so unfortunate. That was Plessinger's win for the taking. And hey, hopefully he rebounds and gets it done this weekend in Seattle. I want to remind everybody that this video is presented by OnX Off-Road. Know where to go with the #1 off-road GPS app. Access 500,000 plus miles of trails and roads, open dates, and public lands. Use the code RACERX, that's RACERX, for 20% off when you download the OnX app today. Moving on to the 250 class, it was a little bit of a snoozer, I guess, if you think that leading every lap and dominating is a snoozer, but Hunter Lawrence goes through, gets a whole shot. He almost got pushed out by Haiden Deegan right there, who was trying to steal the whole shot away from him. But Lawrence kind of snuck away from this battle that was going on behind him. Early on, it was Jeremy Martin versus Nate Thrasher, and I thought this was interesting. Martin's going to get passed by both Thrasher and Deegan in the exact same spot because he never went to this left side double over quad triple line that Thrasher passed him on here, and then a few laps later, Deegan again go that left side, double over the start, quad, then triple up the inside to get this pass done on J-Mart. I thought that was a little bit interesting. You would think that after J-Mart saw, Thrasher pass him by going faster in that line that he'd consider changing it up, but he didn't. So wanted to rehash this pass, though, with Deegan down the inside because, first of all, great pass coming from behind, just kind of throwing it in there, making sure J-Mart knows he's there. And then Deegan's going to come out of this corner, double in, goes like a tiny bit long on this double, but then watch, he's going to go pretty long on this triple right here. You can see him adjust. He's going to lift the front end up a little bit, land pretty far in transition, keep the throttle on, and again go long on this one, does a little brake tap to keep it balanced right there. But again, pretty tough little hit. You can see him kind of soak it up right there. I mean, pretty good job to kind of soak all of that up because a lot of that could have gone really wrong if he's just a little bit too long in one of those situations, but nicely done. Nice pass in the end. But of course, like I said, Hunter Lawrence made it a little bit boring out front. He has been in total control of this series, and especially with Anstey going down, Hunter Lawrence now has this thing by the grasps. But Haiden Deegan, after the race, gets on the podium and throws his goggles into the crowd. We'll do a little bit of a goggle throw analysis here. I mean, Deegan's a rookie, but getting on the podium for the second time, he's wanting to fire up the fans. And a crucial mistake that he misses here, he's going to just barely miss the bars with the goggles right there. But he's a professional. Like, he knows what he's doing here, so he gets the goggle throw off. Obviously, we don't see where it goes, but I'd imagine a few rows up. Pretty good toss there by Haiden Deegan. We won't see these guys for a couple weeks, though, but awesome to see Deegan back on the box as Lawrence keeps rolling in this 250 East class.